The dove was telling Noah, in the month of Cheshvan, he's telling the Shomer Chen, you know what went wrong? People stopped pursuing a relationship with God. They wanted the easy life. They wanted to be able to enjoy this world as if it's the only world. To live in a Lomazed, this physical world, as if it's the world to come. And they wanted to cut God out of the picture. Well, you know, that works for a little bit of time. But after a while, God says, that's not the reason why I made creation. I made creation not because I'm lonely, but because I like to give, but giving requires a relationship. You have to earn it. The only way to earn it is to know I exist. The only way to know I exist is to know you have a soul, because when you have a soul, you're spiritual. When you're spiritual, you can feel the presence of God. Without the soul, you can't sense God. Two people look at the exact same world. One person is in touch with their soul, and one person's not. The person who is has tremendous chen exuding out of them, and they can feel the reality of God. The person who doesn't is closed off, overly involved in this world, and it cannot see the hand of God in anything that takes place, and therefore has no relationship, nor does that person pursue the relationship. The world is changing very rapidly. You have to admit, right? It's not the same world it was a month ago. It's not the same world it was a year ago. You know, you listen to the news, you read the newspapers, you know, you read the experts, what the experts will say, and they're all wanting the same thing. What's going on? And why is it going on? And where is this thing going to? What is it supposed to mean? And you hear the word cycle once in a while. It's like a downturn, but ultimately it's fading out of the picture, because things are happening today at such a quick rate, in such a large way, that even the experts are baffled at this point in time. So from our perspective, from a Torah perspective, from a Noah perspective, from an Abraham perspective, from a Yisrael perspective, because that's what it means to go from Yaakov to Yisrael. Yaakov is somebody, he was connected, but not the same way as a Yisrael was. The name Yisrael meant because you fought with angels, but when you fight with angels, it's easy to see the hand of God. I mean, angels come from heaven. God sends them down. You fight with an angel, you know there's a God. You know he's involved in your life. You're interacting with him. And what happens with a Shechem ben Chamor? An individual who seems to get what he wants, the way he wants it, when he wants it. Can you still see the hand of God through that? Can you still connect to God through the Hester Panim, when God hides himself and works behind the scenes? If you can do that, if you can see God, even at a time like that, God says to Yaakov, that's what it means to be Israel. That's the difficulty. It's easy to fight with an angel. It's much more difficult to fight with human beings who hide the reality of God. This time of year, Cheshvan, Mar Cheshvan, on the way to Chanuka, is a time for a person, specifically, every time of the year, there's a different opportunity. Rosh Hashanah is a time for reflection. It begins the process. Yom Kippur, time for atonement. Every holiday provides a different window of opportunity, spiritually speaking. What's the opportunity right now? This is the time for a person to use the Torah to reflect their inner essence, to reveal their soul, allowing them to see the source of their chen, allowing the chen to exude on the outside, to be revealed for all to see and to connect up with it, ultimately to pave the way for a closer, a deeper and more profound relationship with God himself. All this is taking place, all of it, all of history, but specifically today, to facilitate that. God is talking to the Jewish people, and God is talking to the world as a whole. I made you. You're my children. It's my world. I'm involved at all levels. And as long as you don't recognize that, you force me to call to your attention, to make you realize and make you understand there's more to this world, there's more to history than meets the eye, that meets your eye. Something intrinsically deeper. Go past the externalities. Go past the superficialities. See the inner soul. Understand what it is and how it works. Get in touch with it. Allow it to grow more, become more revealed, become more a part of your everyday life. You do that, not only are you able to achieve personal completion, and enjoy living this world much more than you already do. But you paved the way for even close relationship with God Himself, and that is what brings the source of all success. We should merit to be able to do such a thing. Should be merit to be able to see and to perceive and to experience our inner essence, and through that bring about that which hopefully will soften the blow and make it much easier to transition from one period of history to the next one without any more difficulty and any more suffering.